Hey everybody, this is Minion Soldier, and once again, this is Calling All Minions, taking the place of Calling All Devs, where I endeavor to try to seriously answer some of the community's questions. So, with that, let us begin. Piracy Skin. Matt or Jax Messer. Piracy Skin, hello. May we expect soon to see some piracy gameplay coming? There's nothing about on the roadmap and no info at all. If possible, the idea would be able to stole contain. Okay, so yeah. All right. So obviously not English as a first language, and that's all right. I mean, we made reference to this, a couple of shows ago. But what he's talking about is pirate gameplay. Now, if you look at the roadmap and you look at the gameplay features for the next year, there's really nothing directly pirate related. There's some bounty mission things, but in general, a lot of the mechanics going around piracy or that are kind of core to making that work. The ideas of stopping a ship dead, deactivating a ship, or immobilizing it, those things like tractor beams, which are very critical to that, are just not in the game. Any kind of player enforced interdiction is not really in the game in any way. A lot of the basic elements that are needed to make piracy work, beyond, say, creating a mission, you blow up a ship, it drops a cargo container, you take the cargo container back to Rudo or whoever, a lot of those elements just aren't there. They're not present. And so there is really no outlet beyond a few very repetitive missions for pirate players. And the elements that they're introducing, I mean, you look at them, they're walking on stairs improvements, interacting with objects improvements, group improvements. There's a lot of things that are kind of moving in that direction, but they're still basically building foundational elements. And there's no mention of tractor beams or any kind of interdiction thing right now. So that is pretty much off the table for the next year. So for a pirate, I think the best thing to do right now is practice shock tactics. Practice getting in there quickly, attacking something, getting the loot, and getting out. Jumptown is a perfect place to try these things out. Get together with the rest of your pirate org, you surge into Jumptown, you take it over, you grab what you can, and then you get out. And that's kind of the essence of what piracy is supposed to be. A lot of people mistake it for these pitched battle ideas, but it really is, in essence, grab and go. That's pretty much the extent of pirate gameplay right now. Seeing what's possible with the current rules of the game and seeing how those things evolve. But for actual pirate gameplay, not much coming anytime soon. All right, let's go back here. PTU 3.5. No. Squadron 42 multiple languages. Will we get Squadron 42 in multiple language like German or French? If yes, will it be implemented since release or later? Chances are you'll probably get subtitles at first. I don't think they're really gonna go out at this point and hire a bunch of actors to, kind of perform the lines in different languages. I mean, that's a possible thing, but chances are it's simply going to be delivered with subtitles at this point, unless I'm wrong. Nova Tank gun size to KO ARG or Black Lions. I'm not sure which one it's really supposed to be. Nova Tank gun size. Someone know if the Nova Tank will be modified in the technical specs. Okay, so we're going to have to kind of work around some of the language barriers here. I realize that Nova has a 1-size-4 main gun. How can that be? It's a land vehicle. It's supposed to carry heavy weapons on it. The Avenger Titan can carry S4 main gun and fly with similar dimensions than the Nova, a little bit smaller. Is it considered a light tank? Okay, so chances are you're not going to see a real change in the Nova Tank's specs until it kind of hits the game, and that I don't think is coming anytime soon. The, it depends. Like a size 4 gun, depending on what type of gun you put on it. Is it a gun that launches in a projectile that has an AoE explosive that's really good in ground battles, but not so much good at shooting down aircraft? I think it's too soon to really kind of say that it's undergunned, because we don't know how armored it is, how resilient it is, how far can it shoot from, how accurately. You know, there's a lot of factors that kind of go around that vehicle's performance, and a lot of the systems that work with it really aren't established. How is it going to work? How, you know, it's way too soon to really kind of make a judgment as to overgunned or undergunned. It's like fighters right now. Fighters, you know, sometimes they change the gun sizes, sometimes they don't. But it's really tough to tell how these things are going to work out until you have all the systems around them, like the flight model and whatnot, solidified. So it could change, but until we haven't even really used it in game, we can't really say. You know, some of the fighters, we use them in game so we can kind of look at them and we say that's overpowered, that needs to change. But with this, it doesn't even exist, right? At least yet. HOTAS button limitations. Hi guys, I am not sure if this has already been discussed, but here goes anyway. So I currently have a Virpil Constellation and T50 throttle. These are perfect for the game. Combined, these total around 90 plus button actions. However, Star Citizen does not recognize all of these inputs, and I am only able to use around 30 to 40-ish. Yeah. Not sure of the exact number. I know Windows only supports a maximum number also, and I could use a joystick gremlin or other third-party apps to but ideally I don't want to do that. So my question is, will Star Citizen support a higher number of button inputs? And if so, is this going to be something that is currently looked at or even worked on? Currently looked at or even worked on? No, absolutely not. Because joystick hardware is going to end up being pretty popular, but you know, saying which joystick people are going to get and building the game around certain joysticks, no. I mean, the support is something that I suppose they can offer down the line, but you have to understand, do they do the Virpil Constellation? Do they do, what's that one joystick that was KSV or KBS or something like that? There was another one that was supposed to be like a German 109 gun, and of course there's fighter, and there's of course the Warthog, you know, whatever else, so many out there, the CH models, all that, and then there's the dual joystick crowd. There's a lot out there that you may have to cater to, and so they're probably waiting until they get things on the game side kind of narrowed down before they go out and look at this, because in the end this is something that is fringe. It's not something that's really core to the game right now, especially kind of going like, oh, well, do we support the Virpil Constellation? Yeah, but do we support the Warthog? And going in and fine-tuning each one is probably something that's going to happen much later down the road. Human languages in 2949. No. Banu Defender cockpit preview. Sora 1. Would it be possible to get a preview of what to expect the view from the cockpit of the Banu Defender would look like? Is this doable with the large proportion of outside gray box already complete? With the Defender going through a different process than most ships in constructing the interior, what can be done to streamline asset creation? Will the sculpted assets be reusable towards future Banu ships? Quite a few questions. Okay, so the cockpit view. The cockpit view is probably not something that we're really going to see looking out of the front of the cockpit, because I get the sense that not much was done to correct the issues with the Banu Defender. The core cockpit of the Banu Defender isn't really all that bad, but the problem is it's the surrounding structure of the ship which interferes and creates problems with the pilot's view. Now, there are, of course, people out there who look at it strictly from an aesthetic point of view. Like if you were to look at any ship in Star Citizen from an aesthetic point of view on the outside, most of them are really good-looking ships. I mean, and that can be subjective. The problem is that Star Citizen isn't played in the third person. It's played in the first person. And that's where artistically you have to kind of bend in a few places to make it functional within the game. And I think that because I haven't really seen any evidence that they've made any real structural changes to the Banu Defender, this is probably the last thing that you're going to see before it's delivered as flyable and said, oh, well, that's the way it is. It's balancing. And then it just gets dropped into the community's lap. With the art assets, there's probably a lot of little things, buttons, panels, things like that, which will be reusable in other Banu ships. But I think that basically the hull plating and all that and the different floor arrangements, they'll probably be used as references, but they won't probably directly transpose onto something like the Banu Merchantman because it's a very different ship. So you might see, you know, some panels that are similar. You might see colors and shapes that are very similar, but chances are if it's really all that sculpted and you know, it's not so much like something like a Drake ship where everyone has this panel, everyone has this little storage box, everyone has this gun rack. Chances are there's probably not going to be a lot of crossover. And finally, Anarchy. In-game video streams to web clients being worked on, details request. The monthly update for February 2019 speaks of transmission of in-game video streams to web clients being worked on by Turbulent. Could we please get some more info on what this is intended to accomplish for players? Is this to integrate Twitch streaming? Is it for the Mako's news reporting mechanics? Or is it something completely different, like some kind of dev tool? Here's the quote from the article. All right, services. This month's game service work was focused around developing support for transporting video streams over the comms channels. This will allow streaming of a user's face in-game texture to another player outside of the bind-culling bubble, enabling in-game video calls over wider distances. This method also enables the transmission of in-game video streams to web clients. So beyond obviously the FOIP application there, this is probably because Spectrum is much more than just like, you know, what we see here on the web. Spectrum is going to be how we communicate within the game as well. This is going to translate directly into the game. And so this may be part of, let's say you're flying a Mako and you're doing news reporting and you put something up on Spectrum like live, this is a battle above Stanton, or sorry, this is a battle above Yela, you know, over Jumptown, and I'm broadcasting it live. And then you can stream it directly through that, and players can use this either on their mobiGlas or through the website, and they can view the stream. That's probably what they're going for, what they're intending to deliver. And maybe not just limited to the Mako, maybe other ships can do this as well. Who knows what the limitations are. But as for to integrate Twitch streaming, no, probably not. And I think I'm going to end things there. I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and thanks for watching. Please bring back Calling All Devs. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. So if you want to keep up with the latest and greatest in Star Citizen and Squadron 42's development, please follow us on our social media channels. See you soon.